For many years, GoPro was the action camera king. In fact, it was GoPro founder and CEO Nick Woodman that announced the first commercially available action camera, the GoPro, in 2004. For many years, not only was GoPro king, but GoPro had little to no competition. It was smooth sailing for GoPro. But in recent years, competition has heated up, and it's heated up in a hurry. Now, 20 years after the introduction of the first action camera, GoPro faces steep competition from many other brands. Does GoPro have what it takes to survive and compete in the now heavily competitive action camera market, and potentially other markets as well? Will 2024 be the year that GoPro injects new energy and enthusiasm into the GoPro brand again? In a May 7th, 2024 Q1 earnings call, GoPro CEO Nick Woodman provided several significant pieces of information, including some rather suspenseful bits, especially surrounding one of the 3 cameras that GoPro will release in 2024. That's right, I said 3. So what will these 3 cameras be? First of all, the GoPro CEO did confirm that GoPro will be releasing their 360-degree camera in 2024. But this 360-degree camera has been delayed a bit, and it now will not be released until Q4 of 2024. Therefore, we should expect to see GoPro's 360-degree camera sometime between October and the end of December. And it's expected that that camera will be called the Max 2. GoPro did not specifically confirm that, but that is the assumed name of the camera. Now, this first item definitely piqued my interest, but it also raised a lot of questions. Some of those questions I had were, what will the specs on the Max 2 look like? Will the Max 2 be better than the Insta360 X4? The Insta360 X4 is arguably the hottest 360-degree consumer camera at this moment. And my biggest question surrounds that delay with the Max 2. I'm curious as to the why GoPro delayed it. Is this so that GoPro can put the finishing touches on a 360-degree camera that will blow away the competition? That's what I'm hoping for. The original GoPro Max was released in 2019, and that was a very long 5 years ago. GoPro hasn't released any 360-degree cameras in 5 years. So expectations are certainly high for a Max 2 that has revolutionary specs and features. The things I would love to see from the Max 2 is larger sensors than the X4, a higher resolution than the Max, something like 8K would be great. But along with that 8K, I'd also like to see a higher bitrate. A higher bitrate would theoretically equal better footage quality. And of course, I would like to see good software from GoPro to accompany the Max 2. Software that makes it easy to reframe and edit that footage. Now, in regards to the timeline for the launch of the Max 2 and the 2 other cameras, GoPro had this to say in that earnings call. Quote, "And what gives us confidence in the timeline for our various products is specifically that we're giving ourselves more time to launch these products at a performance and quality level that people have come to expect from GoPro." Now, that is certainly encouraging to hear, but we've only talked about 1 camera so far. What about the other 2? Now, as expected, one of those other 2 cameras is going to be the flagship Hero camera. And this camera is expected to be released on time with a typical GoPro release in Q3 of 2024. And I would expect to see the latest version of the Hero camera probably right around that first or second week in September. And of course, I do expect this camera to be called the GoPro Hero 13. In reference to the new Hero camera, GoPro had this to say in the earnings call. Quote, "That's going to be a terrific new product that's going to really impress people with a number of new features and capabilities, and I just want to reiterate that that product remains on track." Now, if you're a GoPro owner like me, you're probably wanting and expecting to see big things from the Hero 13. Personally, I want to see a Hero 13 that sets the bar as the gold standard for action cameras. GoPro has lagged behind the competition a bit in the last year or 2 with their action camera, with specs such as sensor size. But GoPro has remained ahead of the competition in other areas such as resolution. My hope is the Hero 13 will pull ahead of the competition in all regards. The first thing I'd really like to see is I want to see a Hero 13 that has a larger sensor than competing action cameras. Now, I expect GoPro to at least have an equal size sensor to the competitors, but I'd like to see GoPro get a step ahead and have a larger sensor than the competitors. I think that alone would make the Hero 13 a very competitive and enticing product. I also wouldn't be surprised if the Hero 13 offered 6K resolution, but if GoPro just had a bigger sensor and still offered the 5.3K, I think consumers like myself would be thrilled. And of course, to go with that larger sensor, better low light capabilities and features on the camera would also be nice. And personally, the ability to more easily set a static shutter speed range, I would really like that on the GoPro. I love it on the DJI Action 4, where you can actually set a shutter speed range. So you can manually key in a minimum shutter speed and a maximum shutter speed. You can do something similar to that with the GoPro Labs firmware, but I'd love to see GoPro build that into the UI on the camera. So what about this third mysterious camera that GoPro says they will be releasing in 2024? What do we know about this camera so far? So far, GoPro refers to this new camera as their entry-level camera, and this camera is also slated to be released in Q3 of 2024. GoPro CEO Nick Woodman had this to say about the entry-level camera. Quote, "Our upcoming new entry-level camera that we're launching in Q3 has received really positive feedback from retailers and distributors, and as well, athletes and influencers that we've shared that product with. So we're very encouraged by the TAM, which is the total addressable market, expanding potential this entry-level product will have. It's a different type of product than we've made before, and it's really in response to consumer research that we've done for what not just entry-level, but what consumers in general want to see from GoPro. So we think we're hitting it on all marks with this product, and that's coming in Q3. So there's a bit to unpack there. Originally, this entry-level camera was supposed to be coming in Q2 of 2024, but this entry-level camera got delayed by 1 quarter. But there are 2 big things in that quote in particular that stand out to me about this third mysterious camera. The first one is, quote, "It's a different type of product than we've made before." Now, if GoPro hadn't said that, I would have expected something like a GoPro Mini or one of the Hero White class or Hero Silver, some of the past models that GoPro made that were a little bit lower end. They couldn't do all the same things as the flagship Hero camera, but GoPro said it's a different type of product than they've made before. The second thing that stood out to me in that quote was the statement that this camera would be what consumers in general want to see from GoPro. So a different type of product, and a product that consumers want to see from GoPro, certainly sounds exciting. But that has me wondering, what will this camera be? What type of camera would be different from one GoPro has made in the past? And what type of camera, at the same time, would also be something consumers want to see? Now, the first place my thoughts went is, I'm envisioning something like the DJI Osmo Pocket 3. To my knowledge, GoPro has not created a camera like this before where it's built onto a gimbal. GoPro has made gimbals before, which, by the way, I would love it if GoPro made a gimbal again. The Karma Grip gimbal, if any of you have used that before with older GoPros, I loved that gimbal. In fact, I still have it. Still got it right here in its case, and it still works all these years later. This is what that gimbal looked like for those of you that haven't used it before. And what you do is you mount your camera right in here. You can mount all the way up to the Hero 7, and you could turn Hypersmooth off. Or if your GoPro didn't have Hypersmooth, this would mechanically stabilize it, and it was really good in particular for low lighting because you didn't have to worry about that jitter and ghosting. So I'd love it if GoPro would make a gimbal again. Unfortunately, I don't think that's coming yet, but maybe in 2025 or 2026. We'll talk about that in a moment as well. But my first thought is maybe GoPro is going to be releasing a camera that's built onto a gimbal similar to the Pocket 3. And that's because I think a lot of people want a great camera they can vlog with. They don't just want a camera that they can use for action sports. I think a lot of consumers want a vlogging camera. Now, I have no idea whatsoever if I'm correct on that, but that would be my first guess when I heard that. So speaking of 2025 and 2026, what does GoPro have planned for those years beyond 2024? And first of all, in 2025, GoPro plans to announce their first motorcycle helmet. GoPro didn't give a lot of specifics on this venture, but this does sound like an interesting new market. And for 2026, GoPro did state the following, quote, "In 2026, we expect to have in market the broadest, most differentiated lineup in our history. We are developing a full spectrum of specialized, diversified products to serve consumers' capture needs in more convenient and enjoyable ways than ever before, at price points ranging from entry-level through professional. Rather than compete in a digital imaging market with Me Too products, we intend to grow GoPro with fun and exciting alternative capture solutions that enable consumers and professionals in unique, value-added ways. We see a long runway of totally new, specialized products that can merge with our software solutions to establish GoPro as the world's leading alternative capture company." So that was a rather lengthy quote, but I wanted to include all of that for you because there is a lot in there. To me, that sounds like GoPro has some giant ambitions for the couple years ahead. In fact, I'm sure GoPro is currently doing a lot of research and development on these exciting new products. And ultimately, it sounds like GoPro does not only want to compete in their current markets, but they want to compete and establish new markets. Innovation is something I absolutely love, so I was excited to hear this from GoPro. I love seeing new products and services, and I love it when there's innovation and competition, because in the end, that ends up benefiting you and I, the consumers. We get nicer products for a better price. So will 2024 be the year that GoPro is king again? It's still too soon to say, but it certainly sounds like GoPro has a lot planned for 2024 and beyond. So which camera from GoPro are you most excited about? And more importantly, which features do you want to see these cameras have? Let me know in the comments below. And if you're currently a GoPro user like me, and you'd like to learn how to get the most out of your GoPro, check out my GoPro Essentials playlist right here.